This is episode 47 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name is Trent, and I'm joined by Jason. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. 47 in a row.
I know. We're making our way.
Yeah. 47 in a row. That's the longest winning streak in college football history by the Oklahoma Sooners.
Really?
Just so you know.
Okay.
Right.
That's some random.
That's
completely fucking random.
Random sports trivia for you.
If anyone would know that, it would be you.
Right. This week we have Cody Slane on the podcast. He is the vocalist for Blackwater Rebellion out of Tulsa and Scorned out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. And we get into all that. Both those bands, talk about all that stuff here in a bit. But before we do that, we're going to play a song by Blackwater Rebellion now.
Yes, we are.
And this song is called Rise and Fall. Rise and Fall from Blackwater Rebellion. Very cool song. That's got a kick-ass guitar riff underlying throughout the whole thing. It's got that I really love the chorus. And his voice is great on this and the other songs. His voice kind of has it's real kind of dynamic, where I think he could sing all different kind of styles of music.
Yeah, yeah. I've listened to the Reverb Nation. I've listened to some of their other stuff, and Cody can do a lot with his voice, and this song's great. He has some good vocal lines, some good melodies up against what's going on, with the guitars and stuff. So it's just a great song all the way around.
Yeah, like that opening kind of bluesy rock thing.
Oh yeah.
And then it kicks into that nice groovy riff.
Right in the balls.
Right. Well, we're going to talk more about Blackwater Rebellion here in a second. But before we do that, we wanted to be just one of the plethora of people that are talking about AC/DC in the past few days.
Oh yeah, everyone's up in arms about it.
Yeah, everybody's got their opinion. Everybody's got their speculation. So, of course, that's what we're here to do as well.
That's right. That's right. If you have lived under a rock in the rock and roll world, just if you didn't know, I guess AC/DC have postponed their tour because Brian Johnson is facing hearing loss if he continues to play more shows. And so in that right there is just like, that's terrible. That sucks. Hey, go get better. Do what you need to do to come back stronger and finish the tour and keep going. That's not really what was the shocker about all this.
Right.
The twist was they, in the little news bite or press release or whatever it was, they talked about postponing the shows till later and getting a guest vocalist. And I don't know, that is just I don't it's where my talking stops, because I don't fucking know.
Right. Right, it's like, yeah, that's the first thing. I was just reading it, and same thing like you said, that sucks, and then I saw that, and my instant reaction was, what the hell? That doesn't even make sense.
It makes no sense at all.
It's like if he had died and we had some shows scheduled, okay, we'll do one and have a guest vocalist as a tribute. Something like that makes sense.
Maybe, yeah.
But these guys there's been rumors for like a year that this was going to be their final tour. They've never said it, but,
Yep.
People just assume it. And so you're telling me your final shows are going to be with just some other dude?
Yeah, it cannot go out like that. If anyone in the AC/DC camp is listening, which I'm pretty sure there's a 1,484% chance they're not listening.
Hey, Dave Evans might be listening to this
somewhere,
and we're here to talk him up to get that spot back that he had 40 years ago.
Yes, but just saying, do not do this. Do not do this. You might not get another chance with Brian Johnson. What if his medical issues run deeper? Then this might be it. Don't go out like this. Just don't do it. Just do not do it. But if you do it, I'm here. I've got a couple of ideas.
Right.
Now, again, I'm saying don't do this at all.
Well, here's the other thing to point out. If they are doing this, which they said they were, I guess, are they saying everybody here get a refund and then we'll resell these tickets later? Or are they saying hold on to your tickets and we're going to bring out some other dude? And then how many of these people are going to be pissed off?
I have no idea.
They bought a ticket for AC/DC and now they're seeing AC/DC with, whoever.
Every goddamn one of them is going to be pissed off because the tickets ain't cheap anymore.
Right.
And I don't know. Just don't do it. Do not do it. But what I was going to say, if you do it, in just my weird, I know they should never do this, but just in my weird, rock geek brain, 2 names came up instantly that could do it. If it unfortunately came to that.
I had 3 names instantly, but go ahead.
Okay.
And then a 4th one came later.
Oh, shit. Okay, well.
And none of them were Dave Grohl, by the way.
Really? That was my number one. Well, actually, I figured they should get him to do like a one-man band thing with the bass drum behind his back and the cymbals between his knees, holding the guitar with a microphone, and he'd be AC/DC from now on.
Right.
Okay, because that works, right? That makes sense.
It does.
What was it you said he was at the other day? The Syrian Teen Choice Awards?
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that you said it, the spontaneity of conversation, now I have 3 names.
Okay.
And we'll see if we have any of the same ones. But my top 3, Jesse James Dupree from Jackal obviously could do it. He's in that wheelhouse of vocal style, I think. 2, Mark Tornillo from Accept could do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, he could do it in a heartbeat. And 3, that just came to me for some reason. I think when you said you had 3 or 4, I got in your brain for a minute.
There you go.
Steve Whiteman from Kix should probably.
That crossed my mind, but that wasn't one of the names I was going to say, but he could easily do it.
Oh, yeah. But anyways.
Go listen to Girl Money, and it's just Steve trying to be Bon Scott. Anyway,
and anyways, again, I'm saying don't do this in any fucking opportunity or scenario, but just saying those are my picks. But don't do it. Trent, go ahead.
Do you think they should do it?
I don't think they should do it.
Yeah. It depends on when they say guest vocalist, do they want a guest vocalist that's like, people are like, oh, wow, that would be cool because I know who that is? Or do they just want a new vocalist that can sing these songs and be awesome?
I have no idea.
Because if they just want a guy up on stage that's going to be badass as hell, there's only one person to do it.
Who?
Joel O'Keefe.
Oh, fuck. No kidding, from Airborne.
Yeah, he has everything that's needed.
Yes.
He has the voice, and he has as much energy as Angus Young, if not more.
If not more.
And,
I cannot believe I didn't think about that. I mean, those guys are cut.
And he's Australian.
They're cut from the AC/DC cloth.
Yes.
And that's another thing, Airborne. People, if you don't know of Airborne, go out and buy all their shit now. It will blow your dicks in the dirt.
And it's one of the best live bands you can see going. Obviously they're not as big as AC/DC, but they are energetic, crazy, over the top, just balls out. They're basically, a new version of AC/DC now, They don't sound exactly like them, but I'm just saying the same style of rock and attitude.
Yeah, it's AC/DC on meth.
Right. And then, of course, my other thought was Jesse James Dupree, like you said.
Yeah.
He's an amazing front man. He, just like Brian Johnson, have the crowd going at all times. He's still got the vocal ability. He's got the vocal style. And he's a name that people know.
Yeah, definitely.
And the third one, of course, I've got to interject this in everywhere I can, is Whitfield Crane.
Oh, that's a good one, because that guy can do anything.
Yeah, you ultimately hear him and you don't think, well, that's not the style of AC/DC vocals, but he's done covers of a few Bon Scott songs. Mm-hmm. He sounds awesome doing it, and he's the type of guy that can adapt to anything. Like,
yes,
he was in Life of Agony, and he sounded exactly like Keith Caputo at the time.
Yeah, I mean, sounded exactly. We were at the back. We came in right when they hit the stage. We were at the back of the venue, and I thought, oh fuck, is Caputo back? That's how amazing this guy can adapt and sound like anything he wants. That's a good choice, Trent.
Yeah.
If they did it, but they're not going to do it, right?
Yeah. And another one that I thought was cool that I saw someone else post. So this wasn't an original idea.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember the guy's name, but the singer of Nazareth.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I don't know his name either, but...
He's got that same style, that same, just rough kind of thing, It's not exactly like Brian Johnson, but hey, you don't need to have a mimic up there. I mean,
exactly.
You want someone that can pull off both sides of the coin, the Bon Scott stuff too, anyway.
Oh, for sure.
But like you said, they're not going to do it. Right?
No, they're not going to do it. Please don't do this. Do not do this at all. Do not tarnish the legacy. Just don't do this.
See, the thing was, if this was 1996 and Ballbreaker just came out and they were touring on that and this happened, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
You still got, all this time ahead of you.
Yeah.
Here we are 20 years later, Well, can you believe it's been 20 years since Ballbreaker?
I know, that's crazy.
But 20 years later, and they're winding down. Even if they're able to go several more years, it's only going to be several more years.
Yep. Yep. Don't.
And you don't want to go several more years just to do it with some random dude that's not.
Exactly. Don't limp into the finish line.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
You're already down Malcolm.
Yes.
You're already down Phil Rudd, which.
Well.
Whatever. They got
who
Chris
gives
Slade.
a shit about that? And that guy did it to himself.
Right. But, so you're down to basically the two guys that the mass amount of people know.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a geek and knows Malcolm Young like they should.
Yeah.
But everybody knows Brian Johnson and Angus Young.
Yes.
So now the mass, your mass audience is down to knowing one guy, at least from the original band. I mean.
Yeah.
Cliff Williams is there, but, Joe, the Nickelback fan that also likes AC/DC, doesn't know Cliff Williams,
Joe, the Nickelback fan, doesn't know a lot. But anyways, moving right along.
All right. Well, moving right along into Blackwater Rebellion.
Yes.
We played this song a little while ago, and recently we had the chance to sit down and talk to Cody. And it's pretty cool. We talked about all different kinds of stuff. The typical stuff like influences, what his band's plans are, stuff he, his past. All different kinds of stuff, it was cool.
Yeah, it was. This guy, I think, he's in it for the right reasons. That's the music, and that's to shake things up, and that's to, piss people off, maybe. I mean, in talking to him in our interview, we hung out and talked with him, afterwards outside for a little bit. This guy is no bullshit, and, he's doing it for the music, and that's pretty refreshing. And he had a kind of a punk rock beginning. That's kind of where it came from. So it was a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, and he's still got that punk rock attitude, which is good.
Yes, it's very good. it's there needs to be more of that. Yeah.
And something I forgot to mention right after we played the song Rise and Fall, if you like that, you need to go to kmod.com, and
that's right.
They've got right at the top of the page, you click on the link there, and there's a tournament. I think it's 16 band tournament to find out who's going to get to play at Rocklahoma. There's a lot of area bands that play Rocklahoma, but this is for the hard rock stage, which is one of the two big stages.
Yes.
And so it's a pretty big deal. And Blackwater Rebellion's on there, so go on there, click on them, and vote for them.
Vote for them. Definitely vote for them. And while we're on that subject, good thing you brought that up, KMOD, if you're listening, on this page where we vote, have a link to the band. Make it to where you click on the band's picture that you've got up there already, and it takes you to their Facebook or some of their music or something, because that would just further their promotion and kind of further this process a little better. I think there should be links to the bands.
That's a great point.
That's my gripe. So
obviously not everybody's going to know all 16 of those bands.
Exactly.
And sometimes there might be two bands that are matched up against each other. You don't even know either one of them. So you're just picking them based off of which one looks less douchey or which name sounds cooler or whatever.
So yeah, definitely links to the bands. KMOD if you're out there.
Yes, go do that. Like we said, vote for them. Vote for some other awesome bands around here. Fist of Rage comes to mind. Grind.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Get on Reverb Nation. You can find Blackwater Rebellion. You can find that song Rise and Fall, as well as several other songs. You can find these guys on Facebook. Scorned is also on Facebook and Reverb Nation. I know the songs they have up on Reverb Nation aren't with Cody yet because he's only been in the band for a short period, but they've got stuff coming here in the future. So be on the lookout for that. But I think we've got this covered, and I think it's time to get into this interview.
Yes, start the music up.
Try not to ask anything that will Make us have to pull this offline, right?
Yeah. We'll not do that. I told you about. I mean, you know about the last podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't ever get a chance to hear it, but he did.
I heard
It wasn't bad. You know.
No.
It was just there was too much drinking involved, and I wasn't even the one that said anything.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't bad on you.
Yeah.
You know, and when I heard it, it was like 5 in the morning. I was driving to work, and I was like, oh.
Listen to everything Ryan was saying?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Ryan was tearing that apart, dude.
And I could feel you know, you could hear it over the airwaves.
For sure.
Type thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it was very awkward. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm going to take this shot now, and hopefully we can move on. And ask something else. That'd be good. Let's talk about music. And man, he was going off, man. He was like just destroying Axis and destroying Sunshine. And
wow.
Yeah. I was like,
exactly.
Well, there goes my chances.
Well, we're pretty tame, so, you know.
Yeah, I've got my Mountain Dew. There's no Fireball, and there's not a bunch of cases of beer sitting around. So.
Yeah.
Well, we got a beer
if you want one, we got one.
I'll just keep the shots out of it.
Right.
But let's talk about Scorned first, since that's the newest thing you got going. Like, how did that come about?
Oh, man, Scorned was awesome. I saw a post on Facebook. One of my friends was asking me about it. She tagged me in a post, and they said they were looking for a vocalist. And that's all I had to do, man. I messaged the guy, and I said, hey, how's it going? You know, I'd like to come out and try for you guys. And he says, well, he goes, aren't you the singer of Blackwater Rebellion? And I said, yeah. And he goes, holy crap, you guys are awesome. I was like, oh, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, we'd love to have you. He's like, come on. And so I went down there, tried out for him once, and he's like, you got it. He's like, awesome. Come back and do whatever you want. He's like, you can write all the songs you want. He's like, just come on back, man. We need you.
Wow.
So I've been doing that a couple weeks.
And is that... They're based out of Fayetteville?
Mm-hmm.
So how is that? Well, I mean, I guess you've only been doing a few weeks, but...
Juggling all that.
Kind of tough doing that?
2 bands right now. Yeah. It's not really that hard. I mean, driving back forth, because I live in Tahlequah, so I'm driving between Fayetteville and Tahlequah and back to Tulsa and back and forth. And it's easy. I mean, 2 different sounds, 2 different bands. And I have 2 different styles of writing for each band, because one of them, like Scorned, is a little bit heavier than Blackwater, and it's fun, but Blackwater is more technical than Scorned is, so I'm like having to use both parts of my brain. You know?
Right on. And do they have 2 drummers?
They have 2 drummers, yeah. One of them, he plays in this other band called Amsterdam, and he's, they're always playing. They're all over the place. And our other guy, he's just solely drumming for us, and so it makes sense. I mean, I've never been in a band with 2 drummers.
Yeah.
So it's like the first time I went, I was like, okay, all right, this is interesting. So we have excess members at the practice, like, cool. And then they practice without me a day of the week while I'm over here practicing with Blackwater.
Yeah.
Was it a rotating thing on drummers, or they're playing at the same time?
No, they rotate.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if it was both guys in the band.
Oh, man, if we had 2 drummers going at the same time, I would just be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Well, some bands have that every now and then.
I know, it's weird.
All
like a Godsmack thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no kidding.
Didn't we see Neurosis do that or something?
I don't know.
15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. God, that's a long time ago. Don't get me going on that. Jeez. Ugh.
But so, like, what... I mean, I listened to a few of the Scorned songs that I found on Reverb after I saw that you joined the band. And I noticed at least a couple of them, the vocal style was a lot different than yours. So is it kind of changing their sound, you think, with you in it? Or
It's, a little bit. But we're doing some of those old songs that they have already recorded and they've already had out because a lot of people are familiar with it. And they had a lot of requests. As soon as I joined the band, as soon as they announced it, they were like, dude, just let's keep this, and this song the same as it is. And it's okay. So I'm having to match some of the pitches that he has because he has a higher voice than I do. And so just trying to keep up with that higher octave, like it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But I like it. I enjoy challenges, man. It's good for music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it keeps you on your toes, keeps it fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So they have a pretty good following. I saw they've been around like a while, like 15 years or something close to that.
Well, not exactly 15 years. The band itself has been around for about 5 years or so.
Oh, okay.
But all the members have been, they've all had their own bands beforehand. And,
Or maybe that's what I was saying.
yeah, just veterans, just like Blackwater, just doing their thing and
Right.
and hoping something will catch on, and and they told me, they're like, you ever played Whiskey A Go Go? And I said, no, have you? Like, yeah. Like,
Wow.
holy crap! I was like, okay, so are we gonna do this or what? And they're like, yeah, you want to? I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. I was excited about that. I was like, okay, yeah, I would love to play that place.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Everybody's played there.
I'm nobody yet, but I would love to be somebody.
Yeah. Hey, and, if you end up playing there, you're somebody.
A nobody played that stage. Yeah. I'm sure they don't brag about that too much.
But I saw also one of the guys that tagged you in a post where they had been invited to London before.
Yeah.
haven't been
For
able to work
Camden. Fucking Camden, man. Camden
Uh-huh.
Underground. And that's a huge thing. And every artist who's, like struggling to play the underground fests or even like the major fests, like Rocklahoma and stuff like that, that's huge. And the fact that we got the invite to perform, and we didn't get the invite for their Battle of the Bands or whatever. So they completely skipped all that stuff and just said, hey, you guys want to come play? And then Jay, he sent me a message yesterday, and he was like, hey, check this out. And I was like, cool. And he's like, I'm going to call you, man. I was like, okay. And he's like, so you ever played London? No. Have you? No, but I'd like to. Can the other guys make it? I guess. All right. Well, I guess we'll see how that goes. Got to get my passport.
Wow.
Is that just something, I guess you got to work out the funds to get everybody over there probably?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that involved. But
Yeah.
I always somehow tend to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to keep... What I'm really primarily trying to do with both of the bands is I want them to both be able to function independently without, conflicting schedules or stuff like that. It's like, because one band might have a show, say, like in Oklahoma City, the other band might have a show in Memphis. What am I going to do is I'm not going to schedule the same damn day.
Right.
Just get that out of the way real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, is Blackwater kind of on hiatus outside of, practicing? Because I know I haven't seen you guys doing many gigs lately.
Yeah, we haven't been gigging. It's been kind of hard because we lost a member. Mike walked, but, Mike has his own agenda, and it's okay. None of us are mad at him. He just had to do what he had to do. And we said, all right, cool, man, do it. And he's got a new band coming out and everything, so I'm kind of excited to see what he's doing with that. But as far as Blackwater goes, we're just writing, trying to find a good bassist who's going to fit that genre and that sound, because we have to have that deep, dark tone. Because if it doesn't match, then, and not to mention the stage performance, they have to have that energy about them. And if we don't have that, then I don't know. I couldn't imagine going on stage without somebody as equally talented as Mike is, because he's just a hell of a bassist.
Yeah.
Well, how's it coming along? Are you finding anybody? Are you getting close, you think? Or
Closer.
Okay.
Closer.
Okay.
We had a couple guys come out and try out, and, they were good, but they just, it wasn't, they didn't fit the Blackwater type that I'm looking for, that we're all looking for, actually, because, they have the mentality, and I appreciate that, but, and it's nothing to say about their musicianship, because they're really good, but it just didn't fit.
Yeah, and it's got to fit,
Yeah.
Even if they're good, it still has to work with you and the other guys and stuff. Yeah.
That's the most important part. If we get that out of the way, find a good bassist, then we're right back out there.
Yeah.
You guys working on recording stuff too?
We haven't been in
writing
the
it
studio for a minute because we're working on all this new stuff, and we have a crap load of new songs. Like, it's fun. Like, the newer songs, I think when people hear the newer songs, they're going to... At first, they might kind of cock their heads a little sideways because some of the songs aren't what you would consider a Blackwater sounding type of song, because we've been moving in a more of a rock direction than getting heavier and heavier. You know, like some metal bands will just get heavier and heavier and heavier, and then you're like, what the hell are they saying? We can't, you know, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Like, we're not Napalm Death or anything. And we all have a lot of rock backgrounds, so that's what we've been focusing on. You know, really just kind of taking it back a little bit.
Cool. Well, like, when you write personally, I know you said, well, you mentioned that earlier, kind of juggling the two since it's different styles. Like, in the last few weeks, have you noticed when you write something, like, do you write it specifically for that band, or you just write something and how it comes out, if that makes sense?
It does make sense. As far as Blackwater goes, we usually write the songs there, like then and there. Like somebody, you know, like Crash will come up with a riff and he'll throw it out, and you know, we'll jam on it for a few minutes, and bam, you know, and we'll write a new song. Like our last practice, we wrote 3 new ones, and it was just that easy. You know, he comes up with a riff, and you know, Daryl's just kicking ass on the drums, and then it's my part. And as far as Scorned goes, the writing process is pretty cool because they already have like 3 albums worth of songs.
Yeah.
You know, those guys have been at it for a minute, and all I have to do is write some lyrics, and I send it to Jay, and I'm like, "What do you think about this?" And he's like, "Good." Or, meh. Because believe me, I have plenty of meh. Because I'm writing acoustic stuff in the meantime between both the bands. And sometimes if I come up with some lyrics that'll work better with one of the bands, that's what I'll do. And I'll just abandon the acoustic idea.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things that we were going to ask about is the acoustic stuff you've been doing. Mm-hmm. And, it's just you and the guitar, right?
Yep.
I bet that's pretty stripped down and pretty
it's really
nerve-wracking, maybe?
No, it's not nerve-wracking.
Oh, that's cool then.
I love it. That's my natural. You know, I started doing the acoustic stuff before I ever had any real bands to speak of. Okay. And so I was always comfortable with doing the acoustic thing. And now it's I still get to do it, but I'm not doing it as often as I would like to be doing it, you know, because being in 2 bands and driving back and forth, it's like, where do I find the time to do anything acoustic or to book any acoustic shows? But if I will, you know, if I find it, I'll book it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll play
it. So are these ones you've done recently? Is this the first that you've done that in a live setting? I mean, or at a club or something?
Yeah, the last show I played at Nitro. I played about, I guess it was close to 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that. It was a really, really fun show. But I played almost all new ones, and I only played 2 or 3 songs that have already been heard before that were already like on the radio or whatever, and people liked them. And then when I got to the new stuff, then I saw a totally different reaction because people were like, "I haven't heard this. let's see what it's about." And then at that moment, if I got a bad reaction, which I've never really gotten a bad reaction, but when it got kind of quiet, I was like, well, here's a Tool song.
Pull everybody back in, bring them back in, yeah.
When in doubt.
Yeah.
That's right.
So is most of the stuff you're playing that, like you said, the covers, are they stuff that's already laid back, or are you doing heavier stuff stripped down?
Heavier. Like I did H, you know, and I did that acoustic, and it really works out pretty well because the reaction some of these people have are like, just, you know, mind-blowing, like looking at them, cause I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. I don't mean to be cocky, but yeah, I'm doing this. That's what I like to do. I like to take the songs that nobody wants to cover. Like I do that when I do The End of the World as We Know It by REM. You know, that's just one of those rapid fire type of songs. And believe me, I've screwed it up once or twice live before. You screw that song up, and it's like, well, here's my other new original song. Moving on.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love it. I'd play an acoustic show any day.
Yeah. Have you considered recording acoustic stuff?
I don't know.
Is it more just a thing to do live?
It's more of a live thing, but eventually I'll record. I'll actually go in and record an actual acoustic album. I've been trying to talk to Crash about doing an acoustic Blackwater show, and it just hasn't happened yet. But it might.
Yeah.
Look, I might get him around to it.
Yeah. Keep working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a cool thing with a full band.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to do it. I mean, there's no promises, but maybe one of these days.
Yeah.
Maybe something will come out of that. I'd be closer to probably getting a Scorned acoustic set right now.
Really?
Yeah. It's just because everybody who knows Blackwater knows that we're kind of loud and heavy, and we like to keep it moving the whole time. It's like, gosh, when I step on the stage with those guys, it's like just go 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 go. There's no stop. The only time we stop is at the end of the set.
Yeah.
By that time, it's like, I've been there, done that, oof.
Yeah.
Covered in sweat, reeking of booze. No, not usually. Sometimes I'll have a shot or two.
From the night before.
It happens.
Well, fortunately, I'm not a big drinker, so.
Have you got any in this past month about doing any joint shows, or is that something you might think about later down the line? Like the two bands on the same.
I would love to do that. I don't know if that's a possibility right now. Maybe sometime. Sometime down, like you said, down the line. But right now, I don't know if that's a possibility. I mean, it's not because we wouldn't work well together. It's just because, doing one, like fronting two bands. So it's like, yeah, here's Scorned, fronted by me. And wait, we got Blackwater Rebellion, fronted by me. It's like, what happened? This is the Cody Slane show now.
Right.
Well, that might not be too bad though.
Some bands can pull it off. I don't know if I can, but
Yeah.
I know some bands can. I've seen it done before. But then again, I'm usually that guy making fun of that guy. Like,
Yes.
I just saw you, man. You just did 45 minutes. What are you doing?
That's awesome.
This is another set.
Well, plus, if they're a little bit different stylistically, it's like you really got to focus in on that instead of just putting everything into one basket and
Oh yeah.
putting forth the best you can,
Oh yeah. But it's fun. Like both bands are really fun, and they're both high energy, and I'm just gonna. I can see myself staying in shape, being in both the bands. Just jumping around and acting like an idiot while I'm on stage. But what else are you gonna do? You're front man.
Yeah.
Right.
Entertain.
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
I read the article that you guys wrote, and I was just like, all right, okay, that's cool, very entertaining. Okay,
Right on.
moving on.
Well, you mentioned forgetting or messing up a little on The End of the World as We Know It. Have you ever, forgotten lyrics or anything, in the moment? Or
Oh, you mean as far as the original stuff?
just, your stuff or anything like that? Or even covers,
Well, maybe a time or two on some acoustic songs, but as far as Blackwater, I've never forgotten anything. I screwed up one time, and if the guys hadn't caught it, it would have been really, really bad, because I skipped an entire line and went straight to a chorus, and this was at Rocklahoma.
Oh no.
But thankfully the guys were paying attention, because it was on one of our songs, Rise and Fall, and it's got one of those big, powerful choruses and stuff, and I was so into it, man. I'm jumping off the stage, I'm talking to people, shaking hands and everything while I'm performing. Yeah, and then, oh shit! The next thing I knew, I'm into the chorus, and I turn back around, and the guys are going right along with it. I'm like, oh. I Thank God.
Yeah, they kind of picked you up from it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
cool.
they've covered me before, you know. And the only other time anything like that happened was we were performing at Downtown Lounge, and I got electrocuted.
What? Oh man.
We have that light box, you know, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and we have some, and there's still pedals for the light switch, and I had a beer on stage, and it's, you know, hot, you know, where I'm already sweaty and everything, and I'm just like headbanging and going crazy, and I accidentally kicked the beer over on the light box, and I wasn't thinking about it, and I'm like in the moment, and I get that mic up close to my lip, and then I smack the box, and I hit that metal, and it just zapped the shit
Oh man.
right there. It was pretty bad. Like everybody was just kind of like looking at me like, ooh, like, and I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Did the rest of the band catch it, or were they like?
Oh, they just kept playing.
You're on your own, man.
That's what you do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew that I got it because I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. One of the singers from the other band, he was just standing there going, I was like, don't worry, I'm okay. And then afterwards, he's like, you finished that entire set. You got electrocuted and all. Good job.
That's right. Warrior.
That's one for the resume.
Yeah.
Get electrocuted and keep going.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's not like, you know, I've never done a major injury like Dave Grohl, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
no
fall
kidding.
off the stage, break your
Fall,
leg, and
yeah.
then continue to do the show.
Right.
That guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, he had a medic like holding his leg in place while he finished the show.
Just so happened to be a doctor.
Yeah. I know. What the luck?
Did anyone get that electrocution on video?
I don't think so. I hope not.
Right. Well,
If
I'm
they
sure
did,
if
they
did,
can
it would've
send
been
it
on
to
YouTube.
me.
You would have
Lucky,
seen it by
lucky.
now.
Oh, yeah. Blackwater gets lit up.
So would you consider, like, have you ever had like the worst gig, or what would be your best gig? Was that one of the worst?
Oh
Electrocuted?
gosh, that night was pretty rough to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mean, I'm not gonna name any of the names, but the first band got in a fist fight on the stage, and they got kicked out. You know, they got banned.
Damn.
Second band came up, and they're just destroying it, man. And I was like, oh, these guys are awesome. They were a band from like Dallas or something like that, just going at it. And then their drummer just throws up on stage, and it reeks. It reeked so bad, like it ran half of the crowd off.
Wow.
We had to open up like the side stage door, and like we're like, no, we're not cleaning that up. Like, dude's got to clean that up, man. So drummer's up there like, you know, scrubbing shit off the stage and everything. And it was like, oh my god, this is great. And so then we get up on stage, and it was just, oh god, I felt so bad for Daryl because he's sitting right back there where the main smell was.
The scene of the crime.
Yeah, and he's like, and I'm playing and everything, and like, so I'm just getting down at it, and then I took a big breath, and I was like, oh my god, like just trying not to throw up through the whole set, man. And we got that done, and I was like, okay, we're done here. I got electrocuted. Like I'm trying not to throw up. Moving on, and
Wow.
then Gulch played after us, and like flawless performance. Like they ruled that night. I was like, well, at least somebody had a good set tonight.
Well, you had a memorable set.
Oh yeah,
Won't forget that.
yeah. That and there was this other time we went up to play in Kansas City, and we got up there and the stage, it was an outdoor stage set up in a bar, and the power situation was not great. Like the first band went up and they were playing, and I was like, oh, these guys aren't bad, and then the power cut. I was like, oh boy, and so they got it going and everything else. We were one of the last bands to play, and we were one song into it. We had to restart that song 3 times because the power kept going off. And then after that, I was just like, nope, next song, like moving on. But as far as the good shows go, I consider every show that we draw new fans to, I consider that a good show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even if it wasn't the best performance on anybody's part, as long as we got that 1 or 2, new people coming in. And I mean, I like it because every time they bring somebody with them.
Yeah.
And we haven't played a show in, I don't know, since, I guess it was August.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess that was our last show that we played. But even then, it was great. It was like one of those moments. And you look at the crowd and you're like, all right.
That's right. Yeah. What do you think do you have one that you could just say is your favorite that you've played outside of being the best? I mean, just
Oh, man.
memorable as far as...
Oh, man. Well, my very first show with Blackwater was great because we played with Machine in the Mountain and King Shifter. And it was just...
Yeah.
I was so intimidated, man, because it was my first show with Blackwater, my first time fronting a band that heavy, and Machine in the Mountain just destroys the intro set, and I'm going, oh my god, and I already knew King Shifter, and I already knew how good they were, and then I'm like, man, and we're right in the middle? Like, okay, cool. We got up there, and somehow I managed to nail it, and then, after that, it was like, King Shifter went up and destroyed it and everything else, and it was a great, great night. So that was one of my most favorite memories of playing with Blackwater. That and obviously Rocklahoma. Everybody loves playing there.
Yeah, definitely.
You're in front of like a few thousand people. It's like energy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry, I had something in my head.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he always does this. He forgets some shit.
It's
Damn
fine.
it.
Get lost in the moment. No, but I wrote down this quote because I saw you post this on Facebook a couple weeks ago. I thought it was cool. Where you had asked your musician friends if they've ever written anything that you thought you couldn't top.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it say? If so, did you feel as though you eventually did top it, or if you cradled it as a creative jewel? So what's your answer to that?
That's a good question. And I haven't laid it down. I haven't put any music to it. It was just I got an idea in my head and I wrote this song, and so far it's stayed right there. It's in my phone. That's as far as it's gone. But lyrically, when I look at it, I'm like, I don't know if I can ever actually perform this because it's like so long, but it's so good. And if I screw it up, then I'm not gonna forgive myself. But I've written several songs since then, and
is it because it's so personal?
Yeah,
to you?
Yeah. It's one of those songs where it's almost like when you listen to a good Emenim song, and you're like, damn, like that guy's good.
Yeah,
it's one of those feelings.
How does he remember? Well, like you mentioned it, if he forgets something, like how does that guy remember all that stuff?
Oh, I know.
Every night.
I can't begin to do that. No.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no. I think I've written since that night when I wrote that. I think I've written some pretty good songs after that. And I mean, they're not as deep as that song, but then again, it's okay. Just keep going, keep creating, and I hope that when somebody else thinks that they have topped what they do, I hope that they keep going because. That's probably not the best you can do. It's probably the best that you've done at that moment. Mm-hmm. And you look at it, and when you compare all your other songs, you're like, oh, like I want to put this down just so I can carry one copy with me at all times. Like, I did this.
Yeah, for sure.
Get it pressed. Here's my 45.
What did you do musically before Blackwater?
Oh, man. I started out acoustic originally. I played acoustic solo shows for years, and I started a rock band, which was basically just an alternative rock band. We were called Sunshine Black, and that's how I got introduced into Tulsa. And I came here and played a few shows and played the Canes and stuff like that, and that band obviously didn't work out. There was some turmoil. I'll just say it like that. There was some turmoil in the band, and so after that, I just went back to solo stuff, and got a couple acoustic songs on the edge, and got a homegrown show, and I kept going with that. and that was pretty fun. And then I ended up joining Madewell. I don't know if you guys...
We met that guy.
Nate? Yeah. Nate's cool.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. But I joined those guys, and I played lead for them, and it was really fun just being in a punk rock band. I was like, man, this is great. I don't have to sing. All I have to do is shred and jump around on the stage. It's awesome. It was really fun. We played some really fun gigs. And then after that, man, like, when I joined 777, they're not around anymore as a band, but you know they were a good band. I missed them. I wish, you know. And this is exactly this section of the question of the interview is exactly what happened during the last interview. But you know, they're a good band, and I joined them. I played with them for a little while. I played bass for them actually, and then after that, I went back to solo, and then Blackwater said, hey, we need a singer, and that was it. Went out there, and I auditioned for them once. They're like, well, you can come back next week. All right. And then since then, it's like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so you fronted a band, you played bass and guitar, you played drums in a band?
No, I can't. I can't play drums to save my life. I wish I could.
Well, is like in Blackwater or Scorned or whichever, is there any time where you want to play the guitars while you're singing, or do you just sing?
Well, I mean, like we've toyed around with it in Blackwater, and I mean the timing and the structure of Crush's riffs are kind of hard to sing and play at the same time. So I'm like, clink, 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 yeah, hitting flat notes and stuff. So it's better if I just sing, Maybe one of these days you'll see me with a guitar in my hand with Blackwater or even Scorned, but for now I'm just singing.
Gotcha.
You don't need to complicate things any more than they already are.
Yeah. Right on.
Well, going way back, who's the first singer or something that made you want to sing?
Oh, that was easy. That was Nirvana.
Really?
Like, yeah, hell yeah. Like when I first heard Nirvana was probably, I mean, it was in the later 90s, but when I heard them, I was like, oh, crap, because before I really got into them, I was really into REM, and I really loved them, and I knew that I wanted to play music, but I didn't know, I didn't have that drive. And then I got into Pearl Jam, and my first album I had by them was 10, and I really liked that album, and then I got Live from the Muddy Banks of the Wish Cause. So I guess that was about 96 when they released that. Oh, that was it. I was like, oh my God. And then I listened to them for about a year and a half, and then I started writing. And I told my dad, I was like, that's it. I was like, I want a guitar. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to get a guitar, and I want to sing, and I want to play, and I want to perform. And he laughed.
Get you one?
Oh, yeah, he got me one. But he laughed. He was like, Right. like everything else that you've ever wanted to do and didn't stay committed to.
Right.
Like, yeah, but I did. And then, so then he got me a Strat, and that was it, man. Like, ever since then, it was like, Nirvana was my biggest influence, and like Alice in Chains, a lot of that 90s stuff was just perfect for me. And the Beatles, like, I love Beatles, one of my huge influences. You might not be able to hear it in my music, but I love those guys. Slipknot, of course. But I'm not even.
Are you a fan of Scott Weiland? Because I kind of hear that in your voice. I was
really a huge fan of Scott Weiland. Like, I was supposed to open up for him the month he died. Wow. So that was pretty sad. Yeah, he was
at the Diamond.
No, he was playing a show in Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
But that didn't. I mean, right before the show happened, the show got pulled, and then, obviously he passed away. That was really sad. When that happened, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, it was a sad, sad time, man. Like, I was like, no, I'm not doing this today.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that was too good at everything, to singing and performing on stage. It was like the ultimate package,
I never got to see STP, but I got to see Velvet Revolver.
Okay.
And that was awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
His performance, like the whole band was really on point, but Scott Weiland's performance, like I was just I'm like Slash and Duff Mahagan are standing right there on both sides of you, but you know what? Like I'm looking at Scott Weiland the whole time. He's just like, doing his little dance and swaying and stuff, and it was crazy. It was really good.
Yeah, and that's the mark of, no matter what he had going on personally or whatever, that's how you know he was a great frontman. Mm-hmm. All those guys, and you were watching him.
Yeah, like Slash, this legend, is standing right over to the other side of you, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Except for the solos.
Yeah,
obviously. You're like, what do you got going here? Slash solo. All right, cool. Then all of a sudden a shoe comes flying from across and smacks Slash and everything. Then Scott stopped the song. He was sitting there talking to the audience. He's like, we've been through lawsuits before, but he's like, I'll tell you what, whoever brings the person who threw me that shoe, we'll get you some backstage passes and you can hang out with us. I was like, that man is awesome.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, where is it? Where's the person who threw it?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know, like you mentioned Slipknot, REM, stuff that's wide spectrum. I know I've seen that you like Hatebreed and Blind Melon, which I thought's really cool because that's kind of how we are, just kind of all over the place. So it's like, is there any stuff really outside the box that you dig? Outside of the rock world?
Like, if it's good music, I'll listen to it, yeah. There was, like, I just heard this song the other day. I posted it on my Facebook, actually, but it was called Brain House. I don't know if you've heard it. It's a country songs, but I think her name's Cam, I'm pretty sure. But I listened to it, and I was just like, this is a great song. If it's good, it's well written, and it's well delivered, that is what I think. That's what I look for in music. Like, I don't care, because I listen to, like, I grew up in the 90s, so I listened to all sorts of different stuff, like Tupac, Like, most people wouldn't assume that I even listen to stuff like that. But, like, Tupac and, like, Muddy Waters and the older, like, all that older stuff, like, oh, gosh, it's so good. And they just don't make it like that anymore, because everything's so compressed. Yeah. Hardly anybody does analog recording, and that's what it's missing. Like, you go, people, like, they just, compress, and then you have this big wad of meaningless shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like that, the breath, the air is, like, gone from it. I mean, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And, you just don't get that anymore, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love a lot of country. Not a lot of new stuff, but
country. And most of the new stuff's garbage.
Right. And I like some rap, and I like, of course, metal, so if it's good, it's good, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love punk rock, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dead Kennedys. And that's my favorite punk rock band ever.
Really?
And, Fear, stuff like that.
We saw Fear live.
Yeah, right.
It
was insane, dude.
It was unbelievable. It was great.
Guys, man. Now you're just teasing me. Like, oh man, you should have been there. It was marvelous. One of the best punk shows I've ever seen. I'm like, yep. Keep talking.
It's awesome.
What do you think of Tulsa's music scene?
For the most part, I really love it. The band's are really creative, and that's what I really like about it, because nobody really has, not very many bands have anybody pulling the strings for them, And the bands that do have that, well, fuck those guys. But as far as the quality of the music, amazing. So many good bands out there. Oh my god. I mean, I can't even begin to name all the bands that I like here. But mostly it's just because I don't want to get anybody going, he likes us and not you.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't want to forget someone, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean there's too many damn good bands. I can't even start to list them, because then somebody's gonna be like, hey, you didn't mention us.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, sorry, man. Like, I was in the moment.
Yeah, I mean you don't want to name names, but it's good to like talk about the scene on a whole.
The scene is vibrant.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's a lot of things that need improvement. I think everybody who steps out on the stage here knows that, you know, like, and it's not just the venues, because the venues are the places that are giving us places. You know, they're opening their doors and saying, okay, well, here's the stage, entertain. It's looking at you know, we have Facebook and we're surrounded by media all the time, digital media all the time, 24/7. So why would you go see a live show when somebody's going to record it and post it? Right. You know, watch that. No, that's being lazy. You know, like if we can figure out, if Tulsa bands specifically right now can figure out a way to get a bigger turnout, that would be awesome. But the question is how? How do you monetize that in a way that it's going to be able to bring more people through the doors, you know, without having major bands on the label, you know, on whatever gig you're playing. I mean, I've seen it done before, because the Edge used to do those local homegrown shows at the Canes, and they were packed, you know. And I think some of it had to do with the fact that there was so much radio promotion, but also the fact that it was only $5. You know, $5, and you can see all these great bands at this legendary venue. Yeah. So why not? Why can't we get more of that?
Yeah, it'd be good to have that back again.
It'd be really good to have that back. It's like, you know, like local radio support is really, really important to bands. And when you're not getting it as much as you used to be able to get it, that's a problem, you know. And most of the, I mean, it's like, well, I'm trying to not be really direct, you know. It's like, it's a fine line when you want to tell people what the problem is, and the problem is there's not enough exposure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you have to do more than just post a flyer on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, here, it was on my page. Why weren't you at my show?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it on your page. You know why? Because I'm not huge into your page.
and people click, they're going, and they never.
Oh, yeah, that's.
And I mean, too. You know, I'm guilty of that too. I admit, you know, I think probably a lot of people are.
I did it last night. Because
I don't feel bad now.
I wanted to go to the Agent Orange show, and I couldn't because I got a massive headache. So I was just like, I'm going to go to the Agent Orange show, and then I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Been there.
Yeah, laid out with a migraine, going, man, I'm missing a good show right now. Gee, I wonder how many people noticed I was going.
Yeah. Yep.
We had Grind on a few weeks ago.
Nice.
And CJ mentioned kind of that same thing where he said if a lot of bands could work together to just play like those 6-8 bands on the show once every like month and a half or something, it might help bring more people out. But it probably goes back to what you're saying. How does that really get promoted if the radio is not the one putting it on? You know,
that's true too. I mean, you know, it's just like doing the DIY style. You know, go out and print some flyers and post them all around town, hand them out.
Hand them out. Yeah.
You know, but
I don't think enough bands do that. You know, now like they used to, they rely on, like you said, on Facebook when they should be out at someone else's show saying, "Here, come to my show."
Another problem with what's going on in the scene is, I mean, you know, people call it a scene and everything, and there's a lot of good bands. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not trying to downplay it, but like for a scene to work, everybody needs to work together. And the problem with Oklahoma in general is everybody's so competitive because everybody wants to get up and get that next big show. Mm-hmm. I don't really care about that next big show. Like if somebody throws us on that next big show, it's because we earned it.
Yeah.
You know, it's because we played our asses off until they said, you know what, you guys are good. Here's this show. And it's not because we're, you know, like kissing somebody's ass, and we're not doing pay to play. You know, everybody's doing pay to play right now, and that's a huge problem. That's why we're not getting people through the door, because, you know, here, buy this $15 ticket because you want to come see us. It's like, no, like, I'll buy a $15 ticket if there's a good band, like a really, really good band that I know. But for the most part, most people aren't interested in that, man. And everybody's arguing about that spot, and everybody's fighting and backstabbing. There's a lot of backstabbing. Of backstabbing. And, you know, and it just sucks. Like, there's a lot of bands who get stuff and I'm looking at him going, why? Like, why? I don't, I'm missing it. I'm missing something here. Why is this band so special? But that's just the way it is. Tulsa, it's too small. Tulsa is too small of a town, and there's too many bands. And it's like oversaturation in a way, but at the same time, there's no such thing as too many good bands.
Right.
And, it's a huge debacle. Like, what are you going to do about it? Well, you got to take out the drama. How are you going to take out the drama? Well, good question, because if I knew...
Good luck.
Yeah, that's probably a tough one.
That, and, you can't let certain people pull all the strings, because when that happens, guess what? There's a lot of good bands getting screwed.
Yeah.
Been there. I've been a victim of that. Like, really? Oh, yeah, because that's small town drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you just want to roll your eyes and pull your hair out. Yeah. It's like,
The other thing I've noticed, like just this coming month in March, there's a bunch of bands I like playing, but they're all playing the same night. It's like that's another issue of getting people out, and you're dividing the audience. When there's 3, rock or metal bands playing across town the same night.
Mm-hmm. That's a hard one too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people a lot of those same fans follow different bands.
Right.
And then, they're divided up. It's like, well, do I want to go see this show or this show or this show? It's really hard. I guess it just boils down to which band you like the best.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's that's another problem. It's like, really? Like, why are we still playing this game? I don't want to play this game anymore. I don't think very many people in the scene want to play this game anymore.
Yeah.
We just want to play music. We want to play the shows and entertain people and draw more people out. Like, let's give the bar some people coming in and drinking their beer. That's how the bar makes money. Like, come on, help us, help the scene.
Yeah.
But, once again, it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to go see that band because they said this about this person.
Yeah. And there it goes again.
Yep. And I'm guilty. People know.
Yeah, that's one thing I do like about you is we always know how you feel about something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows how I feel.
Yeah, I like what you said about the Maiden show, about the guy griping about Run to the Hills.
Oh, yeah. That was ridiculous.
What you said was perfect. It's like, dude, they're coming to Tulsa. Shut up.
Yeah. 1 in 9 U.S. stops.
Yeah.
Like, knock it off. Who cares? Oh, they're not playing Run to the Hills. Ooh. I don't care. They're playing Power Slave.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, think about it. When's the last time you saw that in concert? Never.
Exactly.
Enjoy it. People bitch too much. They complain way too much about small things that shouldn't even matter.
That's right.
Yeah, and you got to look at it and think, man, like if I complained about every little small thing that I was upset about, I would never play here again.
Yeah.
Everybody'd be like, no, like blacklist him again. Again. Yeah, I've been blacklisted. I don't like it.
Nice.
Appreciate
it.
Oh, yeah, man. He's
Yeah.
That was a good interview.
All right, Cody Slane, once again, thanks for taking the time to do that with us. Of course, thanks for everybody for listening to this. Great dude, like you said, full of attitude, full of, kind of like our last interview with Jamie Welch. He'll tell you what's on his mind, that kind of thing.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, check out Blackwater Rebellion, Facebook. Check them out on Reverb Nation. Same with Scorned. They're on both of them. Follow these guys, listen to their music, support these guys. Also remind you to go to KMOD.com. Click on that link for the Battle of the Bands for Rocklahoma. Vote for Blackwater Rebellion. And I think you can do it as many times as you want. So Vote for Blackwater Rebellion 287 times tonight. And do it again tomorrow.
That's right.
Right. If this is your first time listening to us, we've got 46 other episodes. We've got stuff from other area musicians like Severmind and, let me think, Driver, Rocket Science.
Dave Cantrell.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Braze.
Oh, yes. Forever in Disgust and Smoke Offering.
Definitely, yeah.
Both those bands. We've got one coming up in just a few days with all the members of Screaming Red Mutiny.
That's going to be a good one. This is awesome.
Yeah, which is, of course, kind of like a super group of area musicians that are all from known bands. And we've also had stuff with national guys from bands like Drowning Pool, Sons of Texas, Miss May I, Warrant, Europe, Crowbar, The Obsessed, Down.
Battlecross.
You said it. Go check all these out.
And I think next week we got a punk rock one coming up with Lenny Lashley.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes, and speaking of that, Cody mentioned in the interview that he was in Madewell for a bit.
That's right.
And on this punk rock, we'll just say it because we're doing it. On this punk rock episode, we're playing a Madewell song. So
it's going to be awesome.
If you dig punk, or even if you don't, I would like you to listen.
Yes. After this, you will dig punk if you don't already.
Right. All right, soundcloud.com/thunder-underground is where all the previous podcasts are. Follow us on there so you always get an alert when one comes up. Follow us on Facebook. We always post them there, as well as Twitter, which is THNDRUNDR Ground. We're on Instagram, Periscope, and YouTube as well.
That's right. And I had one more thing.
All right.
I want to put you on the spot. Have you listened to all of Anvil yet?
No, I have not.
You motherfucker. You're in trouble.
I will do that before the next episode.
That's right. I'm holding you to that.
All right. Check out Anvil. Anvil is Anvil, right?
The new record. We're going to talk about it.
Until next time.